What's up, y'all? Riley here, and today I'm going to talk about an install we just did in the back of our Ford F250. It's the Goose Gear rear seat delete and platform, and I'm going to go through a little bit of the install, how we're using this product, and my thoughts overall after a few weeks of living with it. So if that interests you at all, stick around. So first things first, the Goose Gear systems are made out of a type of wood. You can find all this information on their website, and then coated in this, it's kind of like bed liner. It's got grip to it, and it's a really nice finish. There are some inconsistencies here and there, like right there you can see there's a little bubble. I mean, it's not like an air bubble, it's actual extra material. And I'll pull this out so you can see. It's all about that thick, so maybe a 1/4 inch. And then it uses this aluminum, extruded aluminum, to bolt all together. And that is pretty much what you're going to get with every Goose Gear product. And then they also include nice black hardware, button head everywhere. And the nice thing about being made out of wood is that, one, they come with pre-drilled holes. So, for example, you can mount the most popular refrigerators without having to drill extra holes. So they've already laid out some of the patterns for common additions to this platform, which is really nice. The other thing is, if you do want to add something that isn't already pre-drilled for, you can drill yourself, and then you basically just use these little I don't know what to call them, maybe like hammer nuts. They go in the back, go into that hole, and just kind of latch into the wood. So you can make any layout that you want using those nuts. So it is very modular. The other thing is Goose Gear makes this for a lot of vehicles, and they make different varieties for every vehicle. So we have the complete 100% seat delete, where we have the 40%, which gets rid of just the single passenger side in the back. And then we also have the 60%, which gets rid of the 2 other seats in the back. So you could get one or the other. We also have the factory premium audio, which has the subwoofer. So the Goose Gear comes with provisions to relocate the subwoofer and the amp behind that back wall. If you didn't have the premium option, you would have a much larger storage space here, which in hindsight maybe is something I should have done. But as is, we went ahead and got the one that accommodates the premium sound system that comes with the Ford. So just keep in mind, you can eliminate this and get a lot more storage. We chose not to. We kind of trusted the third party that we bought from, and in hindsight, maybe we would have liked that extra storage. But as is, it's a pretty nice solution, and we still have plenty of additional storage. As you can see, this is probably about a foot, maybe between 12 and 15 inches of capacity. Inside, though, because of how the floor is, you have about 8 inches of interior space. The floor kind of slopes a little bit, so that will vary from vehicle to vehicle, but for the 2017 and newer Super Duties, that's what you're looking at. I'm going to flip the camera around, and we're going to talk a little bit about the install, because there are some issues there, and if you're thinking about this product, then you will want to hear them. This is a relatively new product from Goose Gear, so I believe we were one of the first people to order this retail. They might have these in, show trucks or people that they're sponsoring, whatever. But from what we gathered when we were going through the process of buying this and then communicating with Goose Gear after the fact, this is a relatively new product. So that led to us, at least in my opinion, feeling a little bit like guinea pigs for this product. And I'll tell you why. So we received this product, and we waited about, I want to say, 2 months to receive this product. They make them as they're ordered, I guess, and you can only order them through third parties. So there's kind of some weird idiosyncrasies in the ordering process. But we received the platform, both the 40 and 60%, and I immediately opened it and to inventory the parts and to look at the directions. Well, there are no directions. So there's no parts list, no hardware list, and no way of knowing the order of operations, what I have to remove from the back seat, how to put this in, how to construct it. A lot of that stuff, thankfully, I've done many of my own installs, so I have some experience. I've also built my own rear seat storage solutions in Jeeps, so I have a little bit of experience here. So I figured, hey, that's okay. I'll make note of it. I'll let them know, and I will kind of go at it alone until I hear back from them. So that's what I did. I sent them an email, and I started to look at the instructions for other products that they have for other vehicles, as well as just use common sense to piece together what was in the boxes. And it comes in 3 large boxes. So I hear back from them, and the reason it didn't come with instructions is because they don't have instructions. So already that's kind of a red flag, right? It's not that they didn't include instructions. It's not that they omitted those instructions from their website. And it's not that there are no YouTube videos of this product being installed. It's that they literally do not have instructions on how to install this particular product. And I've now learned from people after sharing a little bit of my experience on Instagram that that is a pretty common thing for Goose Gear, is that they don't have directions for a lot of their products. So that's a little bit of a red flag, and it was frustrating to say the least. It feels like a product was sent out that maybe wasn't ready for market. And that was also a sign of things to come. So they did end up sending me some diagrams, which were somewhat helpful. So I am grateful to their customer service, and we'll get into that a little bit more. So then I was able to start to piece it together based off of these pictures. And I got into the project, and you know how that is. You're focused, you want to get it done. And turns out I'm missing some hardware. So I sent customer service another email, and I was like, hey, I'm missing this hardware. And I told them exactly what it was, because I now have the diagrams and I could describe the pieces that were missing. And all of these were related to the premium audio package, so the relocation of the subwoofer and the amp. So I described what was missing from the boxes, and they said, no problem, we'll send that out right away. A week goes past, okay? Typically, companies make things right when it's their mistake. They make it right very quickly. They'll overnight a part, and you might wait 3 days maximum, especially if it's just hardware, right? It comes in a little bag. Full week. So it took a full week for them to get this hardware to me. And when I got the hardware, and I've already, 75% done with this project, just waiting on this hardware to finish it, not all the right hardware is in the new package. So I just went down to the hardware store, spent money out of my own pocket to get the missing hardware and finish this project. So I do exactly that. I finished the project based on some diagrams and some missing hardware. Once everything is in, it doesn't fit quite right. And I'm in Florida, that's very humid, so my theory is, and still is, that some of the wood used has warped just by sitting in the garage and being exposed a little bit to the elements. I mean, it's in a closed garage, but it's Florida, it's humid. So I contact customer service again, get passed around a little bit till somebody who kind of knows what they're talking about ends up talking to me. And they say, hey, have you tried pulling out this one piece and trimming some of the carpet that's underneath it? And I said, no, but I'll do that. And there's no indication that I should have to do that. One side didn't require that. This side, they say, hey, maybe try that. So I did, and it helped a little bit. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. It did not completely fix the problem. So their initial reaction was to say, hey, that's user install error, right? Like, you didn't install this right. And it's like, okay, cool. Maybe I would have if there were directions. But I'm also confident that I did install it correctly, especially after trimming that carpet. And it still doesn't fit quite right. So now I have a company who sent out a product that doesn't feel ready, messed up the hardware twice, and would prefer to blame the customer who's kind of going to this product or this project with their hands tied, instead of taking ownership of that and saying like, hey, how can we make this right? So overall, I'd say I'm pretty unimpressed by Goose Gear's handling of that situation. And I didn't throw a fit. Like, I'm not going to ask them to pay me back for the hardware that I had to go buy, or like send me out a new piece to make sure that it's not because the wood is warped. Like, I will live with this, and I will use this product a bunch in the years to come. But for a wooden box that costs as much as Goose Gear does, I do feel as though I was shortchanged, and I can't recommend that you buy from Goose Gear if that's the way that they treat customers who have spent $2,000 or so on pieces of wood. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. Stand behind your product, and don't send out stuff that doesn't feel ready. But qualms aside, I do want to give a fair and honest review of this product, because there's not much else like it on the market. In fact, if you want to delete your rear seats in the F250s and you want to replace them with a storage unit of some kind, you're looking at a custom unit. Either you're going to have to pay somebody to design and build one for you, or you're going to have to do it yourself, which is very doable, and what I would have done if I wasn't trying to save time and just go with a finished option. And in the future, that's probably what I'd recommend most people do if they're a little bit handy with tools. All that aside, let's get into the details of this product, including the minor issue that I have. And then I'll talk about how I'm going to use this and my thoughts outside of the issues that I've had with the installation and some small customer service complaints. Sorry for rambling. So right now we're looking through the rear passenger door, and I'm going to see if I can get this on camera well enough. But this back panel, you can see right there that the heights on those panels are not exactly correct. They don't line up perfectly. And the same is true here, which is going to be hard to see from the overhead view. But this side is a little bit higher than that side. And it was much worse before I trimmed the carpet. But now there's no carpet under there, and the problem persists both there and there. So that is not supposed to be like that. And like I said, I went through customer service, tried to get it fixed, and it helped a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think it's an issue with the product, not with the installation. And it's just not a fight that I really care to continue. So I'm just going to live with it. It's a very minor thing. It's mostly aesthetic, and no one's really going to notice but me and any of you who watch this video. Overall, the product is really nice. I mean, it's all CNC'd. You can see that it fits with pretty tight tolerances to all of the contours of the vehicle. Even here, so this is where your door pocket would fit. That fits nicely. So it's very snug and it's very well done. I do like that all the hardware is pretty flush. It's all matching. It's all button heads. And then I have this key out to show you all of these cubbies, which they're cubbies, not really like drawers or anything, as you can see. So that snaps up. And then it's not a hinge. It's a little tab that's bent ever so slightly. Get that to focus. So it basically just slides on there. You have to be careful to not lift it vertical too much when it's in there, because it is hinging on a lip of wood, and then this just pushes back down and it's secure. You're not going to be able to get that out, especially if you lock it with the included key, and all of these cubbies are keyed the same. So that's a really nice feature. I mean, you do that and no one can get in, which, you know, they could. Obviously, it's wood and it's all bolt together, but it would take a lot of effort. Nobody's going to smash and grab if you have your items locked into these cubbies. And it comes with 4 of these little keys. So that's really nice. The coating is also really nice. It's textured, it's a little bit grippy, so things don't just slide around. Like, you can throw groceries in here on top of the box, and as long as you're not flying around corners, it does pretty well. And then just the storage space is, I mean, it's great. I'm all for tiered storage systems when you are into long distance travel, especially in like an overland self-sufficient style, because the more levels you have, the more organized you can be with your essentials. So over there in that small thing, I can keep things that I might not need that often, like roadside hazard stuff, you know, tools, whatever. And then stuff that you access more frequently, you can keep in these more accessible ones with larger openings. It's also a great platform if you have a pet. It's flat, it's hard, and doesn't leave you dependent on like one of those hammock systems. So we just throw down a cover for right now, and our dog does just fine back here. He has access to the air, and if you need access to your power, it's right there as well. Let me go to the other side and show you how they relocate this premium audio system and talk a little bit about that, and then we will wrap this thing up. Okay, we are now on the driver's side, and we're looking at the big part of the platform. And like I said, if you don't have the premium audio package, this whole area is storage, which would have been great. And in hindsight, even if I had the premium audio system, I would probably opt for that and just delete the subwoofer. So if you're thinking about getting the Goose Gear, that's what I would do, unless you really enjoy the premium audio system. So just looking in here, I've got some stuff in here already, but pull this out, maybe. Sorry, it's a little hard with one hand. Okay, so there's the sub. And essentially, they use some T-track in here to utilize some bracketry and mount the sub using its factory mounts, which is really nice. It's really easy once you understand without any direction what they want you to do. And then the amp, you can tell because I was missing this hardware. The silver hardware is where the amp is relocated, and all the wiring just tucks up underneath, and voila. These back panels are really nice because they extend pretty high, so you still have rearward visibility, but you get a little bit more height and more mounting options, obviously. And this also keeps the dog from scratching the back glass and all that stuff, which is, you know, a nice little bonus. So how I plan to use this, I kind of touched on it. I'm all for two-tiered storage systems, and when you can do that in an overlanding rig and stay organized, it just makes your experience, at least for me, so much better. And we've already kind of started that process. So I have like my air tools and that kind of stuff in here. Over here, you have wrenches and ratchets and straps and recovery gear. These bags from Vertex are great. They fit in like a glove. So, you know, jump start equipment, emergency stuff. So you can already see how this would be very useful, and how all that stuff tucking away instead of just shoving it under your rear seat or letting it fly around the back. It's just so much better, and it's just really clean. Overall, I would say that the quality, once you actually get it in, is really nice. I mean, I can climb in here. The dog has been in here and loves it. And you know, it's sturdy, it looks good, and it's a much more polished product than what I would have made on my own, but it should be. Now, yeah, there, see, you can see a little bit of the height difference there. There's a little lip, but since the dog is going to be in here, that's not that big of a deal. It's much more polished than what I would have made on my own, but it should be for the price. These are not cheap. In fact, they're quite expensive for being CNC'd wood. And the issues that I ran into and the lack of support that I felt, and that is not to say that the individuals who helped me were not helpful and did not try to help me. It's just to say that the company as a whole, it felt like, was a little dismissive and knew that they sent out a product that was lacking. And for the price, I just don't think that's acceptable. So I would encourage you to think hard if you're considering spending that much money on this product. But overall, if you do end up buying it, it does what it's supposed to do. I think it's going to serve us well for years to come. And I will do a video showing you how we utilize all this space before our trip in May. In May, we head from Florida to Washington. We're going to be out west for 3 months, and we have some more work to do on the truck before then. So expect some more updates on the build. Obviously, we've been working on the interior with this stuff from Invictus Off-Road, so I will definitely update you all on that as well. And thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you have experience with Goose Gear or building your own platform, let me know in the comments. You can also let me know how you would handle the situation. Again, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to these things, but I do feel like it was wise to share that experience so that you can make an informed decision on a very expensive product and a very big commitment of deleting your rear seats. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.